my desire to help people to see by story after story after story after story about the same person and God being involved in every aspect of their life, that there was too much there for it to be all coincidence, and the stories being pretty extraordinary and remarkable. I like to use the Forrest Gump thing with my chocolate theme of Truffles from Heaven, that our lives really are like boxes of chocolates, and we don't know day to day what we're going to get. And some days we reach in and the chocolate is sweet and delicious, like the day that we proposed to our wife, the day our first children were born, and the day our grown children get a job, you know, those little things. But God's, in His wisdom, has made sure that into each box of chocolate, some bitter chocolate will be found. And the purpose of the bitter chocolate is for us to draw near to God and let Him comfort us and let Him help us to get us through. And it's the heart that refuses to do that the dark chocolate is wasted upon. They allow the dark chocolate to be wasted because God never intended it. He expects us to eat every chocolate in the box, and He doesn't let us punch in the backs and eat just the ones we like. He insists that we eat them all, but for a purpose. And the purpose of the dark chocolate is that if we draw near to Him, He allows us to see that no matter what life can throw at us, He can get us through. And that's how we develop a relationship. And so it is really my desire to help people to see how to develop a relationship with God. There are so many people that are Christians, believe they're Christians, have committed their life to the Lord, and then never really know how to develop the relationship. Once you have a relationship with God, He's there with you all the time, every day, helping you through every occurrence. And so it is, those are things that I call evidence. What is the evidence for the existence of God? Well, the evidence is the things that happen that are unexplainable that most people write off as coincidence. They're missing the evidence. And so it's been my desire to help them to present so much evidence from one small life. What happens in a life when a person dares to believe that what God has said about Himself is true, that He is there, He is present, and that He is with you at every step of the way, helping you, guiding you, guarding you, directing you through His Spirit, if you have an openness to receive it. And the difference between perhaps me and you is simply perspective. I look for the evidence and therefore see it. And so I try to help people open their hearts and their eyes so that they can see it, because I don't believe that this is just something unique that happens for me. I believe that God is communicating all the time with each of us, especially those that think it's coincidence. And so if I can just help them to have that slight perspective shift, to come to the place and say, I think I'll start looking for evidence. And so if they start to look for evidence and they are looking with a believing heart, as opposed to I'm looking for evidence to convince me He's not there, that they'll see it. Seeing God work in somebody else's life strengthens your own faith. Maybe you've been praying and you've been waiting for an answer. And if you've been praying with somebody else and you see God answer a prayer for them, it strengthens your faith while you wait. Okay, and so that's the advantage to sharing our Truffle from Heaven stories with one another, is that it strengthens everyone's faith. Because we all go through dry spells, you know, when we don't sense the presence of God. By having the habit of sharing our stories with one another, it re-infuses us with, because don't we all need reminders? Don't we all need reminders of sometimes of what we already know? See, I like to say that truffles from heaven are gifts from the lover of our soul, the same way that chocolates are often gifts between good lovers. You ever give candy, Godiva, perhaps, to somebody you love? Yeah. And so God does the same thing. The lover of our soul places into the palm of our life exactly what we need in the exact moment when it's needed, and often in the moment when it's least expected.